Amari, we've kind of with the way the offense has kind of evolved, and the 6-1 start, and then you and CD having to play, getting banged up and having to play some things, and we're starting to hear about Jerry Jones coming on and talking about routes and stuff, and I want to ask you a question for a guy that is a great route runner. When teams play you like press, do you have to adjust your routes to be like, okay, I can't run this route at 7 yards, or I can't run this at 8 yards? If I'm playing pressed or getting pressed, I might have to take this to 6 or 7. Are these adjustments that you just have to make through the game? Because everybody seems to be talking about the fact that, the routes are shorter, and that's the problem and all that. Is that something that you could kind of walk us through when you are that kind of a route runner, and how that affects you when teams play a little press against you?
Yeah, I mean, typically if you have a route, and the cornerback is off, you get your full depth no matter what. Like, it's no excuse for it. But
Right.
when you're pressed, obviously you're going to take a little bit more time at the line than you would if you weren't pressed. So sometimes it could be acceptable to cut the route short in that situation. Obviously not by much, but it makes sense because of the timing purposes, right? If the cornerback is off and you're just running full speed and you get your full depth versus the cornerback being pressed, and you cutting your route a little bit short, it's going to time up the same. And the quarterbacks understand that for sure.
Sure.
But there are a lot of times where it's just not as acceptable. The bottom line is really you want to be on the same page as the quarterback, because the quarterback is always right. He's the one running the show. He's the one running the whole operation, So even if I go out there and run a route perfect, but he doesn't like it, he didn't like the feel of it, and that happens all the time, we'll have to change it. Like, for example, we put a play in and I run the route exactly how coach wanted me to run it, exactly how the route is supposed to be ran, but Dak doesn't like the feel of it, then we'll go and change it, because we have to be on the same page with him.
Now, when you say the quarterback's always right and he tells you how he wants it, do you at least stand up for yourself and tell him, like, listen, this is the way it was drawn up, that's the way it was coached, I ran it perfect, and then do what he wants, or do you just do what he wants?
No, that's where communication comes in at. Quarterback is a quarterback. He understands the quarterback position. He understands every position, but he's a quarterback. You're a receiver. Yeah, yes, your feel for the route matters, and that's why you communicate that with him and try to. You really the receiver's communication with the quarterback when there's a situation where it needs to be communication about a route. Really, you're just trying to convince him that, I like this better, and this is why. And then you try to make him see it your way. And then once he sees it your way, and he still doesn't like it, then you'll have to change it.
It's Amari Cooper with us, as he is every Thursday here on your home of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan. The Cowboys offense, you guys were number one in the league about halfway through the season, and then lately not doing as well as an offense. When you look at it from a zoomed-out perspective of just everything that is going on with the offense, would you say there's anything, quote, wrong with it, or where are you guys off from what was getting done earlier in the year?
I would just say, if you look at success on a graph, it's not just you're not just going to be gradually or exponentially trending upward. Success doesn't really look like that in real life. Typically it's, you have that line and it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, but it's still going up at the same time, if that makes sense to you. I think it would make more sense if I'm able to show you a visual instead of verbally saying it. But, it's not going to always just be, okay, we're the number one offense and we're always just trending upward without any dip. Sometimes there's dips, but that's why you have the dips, because you learn from them and then you expect to go back up. So I think that's where we're at right now, and it's a good thing for us. Like, it's some positives that come out of winning these muddy type of games like we won last week, because eventually you're going to get into a muddy game anyway when you play better teams, if you make it to the postseason and stuff like that. And you have to have experience if you're going to be able to win them. So Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. The competition is stiff. So every game not just going to be a walk through the park.
Hey, Amari, your head coach got up on the podium and cashed a big check today. He guaranteed a win for you guys, And Dak said, we're going to go win this game. Can we get you to go ahead and kind of jump on with the rest? Because on our show, we're all for you too. We're jumping on with.
I guarantee to win as
well.
well.
Yeah, we've all guaranteed to win here. So can we get you on the bandwagon with us?
Of course, man. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna get the dub.
There you go.
It's easy.
That was one of the best questions I've asked all year,
that's
right?
a great question,
yeah,
Ryan.
Thank you.
So, Amari, speaking to that confidence, obviously you guys went through a stretch where, lost 3 out of 4, questions about, this team and what they are going to be doing for the rest of the year. What was the message in the locker room between you guys about staying confident and staying locked into what you guys had to do and not focusing on, outside noise or whatever the case may be, to where you guys felt like that you were going to come out of it and ultimately be better, because of what you guys went through?
When at what time you referring to? Like, because I was out. Remember?
Yeah, as a team as a whole, what was going through your guys' mind with respect to losing those games, but then coming out on the side once you came back as well about what you guys were going to continue to do the rest of the season?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't really in the locker room when we lost. Well, we lost like 2 games when I was out, so I wasn't really here, to be honest. And I came back like a day or 2 before the Saints game, but I wasn't really. Like I said, I had to go home because I still had a cough, so I wasn't really like involved like that really until we traveled to the game. So
do you consider yourself 8-2?
That makes no sense.
I mean, if you're not there during the loss, I would consider that to be my record.
I would say, Amari, you're 8-2 is what I would say. Yeah.
Nah.
I go tell Mr. Jones right now, hey, I'm 8-2, and if you need me more than anything,
We're
right?
Factor that into the salary. I'm very important around here.
Yeah.
A couple of things over the last couple of weeks, noticing with the wide receiver group. First of all, even on the plays, like I said, you played 24 plays, but it's like the plays when you were on the field, I feel like the team is way more successful. With Michael Gallup, the thing that jumped out has been his last couple of toe taps. With CD, it's been that we're starting to see the college version of him in terms of after the catch, breaking tackles, making things happen. What would you say are the strengths, and maybe I just gave you the answer sheet, of your 2 running mates at wide receiver? Like, is there anything that you look at one of them and go, oh, man, I really like the way he does that?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about like Michael Gallup, he's real freakish. He's a real freakish athlete. So he's going to make those freakish plays that, you didn't really think were possible to be made, He just amazes you with some of the plays he's able to make, some of the catches he's able to go up and grab, his balance and everything like that, to where he does a lot of things that everybody can't do. With CD, he's like the complete package, He can do everything well. And really with him, he's just filling in the gap of everything. Like, his hands are good, but I'm sure he'd tell you he wants to have better hands. His routes are good, but I'm sure he'll tell you he needs some improvement in that. The way he goes up and attacks the ball is good. Same thing. So those are the things that sticks out about Michael and CD.
Amari, when you see this Washington football team, what kind of challenges do they present in their secondary that you're going to be keying in on as you guys prepare to take on Washington on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, they're a real physical group. They're real grabby. The refs ain't going to always call, a flag on a guy grabbing you every single play. So that's something that we're going to have to fight through and battle through. And, I mean, they're a good group, They have good speed and coverage skills. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be a challenge. I know they're going to try to come up and challenge us and, stop. They're going to really put an emphasis on stopping the run and playing a lot of man-to-man and try to slow us down. So, it's going to be a great challenge to look forward to.
You've mentioned that you weren't a part of some of these games, but has that become a thing that you guys are seeing more and more as the season goes along? You'd like to think with the weapons you guys have and having a really good quarterback that if people want to try to take away the run and play man coverage, that sounds like a party to me. Is that something that you guys are seeing more and more of?
Yeah, I mean, it is. It does sound like a party, but you got to understand, like, this whole season with Dak, well, me, CD, MG, and Dak haven't played a full game together. Like, we haven't. That's not something that we've done this year. The first game we did, but Michael got hurt, like, early third quarter or something like that, when CD had 100 yards plus and a touchdown. I had 100-yard plus, a couple touchdowns, and Michael would have easily had it. And when he got hurt, we went on that win streak. He came back. We all were on the field with each other, but he had a limited snap count. He only played like 20-something plays. And then after that, I caught COVID. And then when I came back versus New Orleans, I had a limited snap count. So we haven't played a full. We all four of us together. We haven't played a full game together. So I don't know if defenses really know what to expect from us out of a full game together. Like, if we go out there and play to our potential, which I know we will, it's just going to be real hard to stop.
Mari, you mentioned about you getting COVID, and it was brought up that you're not a vaccinated player or a vaccinated person, and this is your platform here. And listen, we're for you here. We all believe that you should be able to do what you want. Did any of things change in your mind, though, as you went through that? Did you say, hey, maybe I need to look at this, or, I feel good about where I'm at, made my decisions and stuff like that? And, can you kind of walk us through that a little bit of maybe what you're going through while you were missing that time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know. Sorry, I don't know if you noticed, but I just like learning in general. Like, it doesn't have to be about COVID or anything. I just love learning, so I'm always open. I always have an open ear toward learning something new. I believe, knowledge is an eternal journey. So, when I have information presented to me, I'm always going to take a look at it. But what was the last part of the question?
Well, no, like I said, though, is there something, did you learn something while you were out that, like, hey, yeah, being vaccinated might be something good for me going forward? Or is it like, no, I've kind of done my own research and I'm going to stay where I'm at, and and that's kind of how I'm going to go. I'm not trying to put you one way or another. I just was just curious because, again, I'm one of these guys that believe in people's choices. I absolutely, when you went out with it, we were all here like, hey, it's his choice. That's what that's what he wants to do. So, I just didn't know if there was something, though, that now that you missed a couple of games, did it make you feel any different about not being vaccinated or being vaccinated?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. The thing is, it's just so difficult for me to answer this question because, it's just what I've noticed. People have a lot of pride, man, and everybody wants to be right. And there's a lot of people on both sides who, there's people who are pro-vaccination, there's people who are against it, and there's arguments to be made for both sides. But I learned a long time ago, like, not to be a part of certain conversations because they'll only lead to arguments and quarrels, and I don't. The reason I say it's hard for me to answer that question is because I don't want to be the impetus for that right now. Like, I don't want to be the reason people are arguing again over the vaccination or anti-vax or pro-vax.